The old saying goes, two heads are better than one, but unfortunately this doesn't always prove to be true. We see it all the time in all types of groups. Seemingly obvious errors are overlooked or disregarded by several people, leaving the rest of us wondering how the bleep the idea ever left the drawing board. Have you ever held your tongue during a group project out of fear of what your peers would think? Or maybe at some point there's been a time where you just kind of went along with what the most outspoken member's ideas were for the sake of time and effort. Then you have experienced the phenomena of groupthink. Groupthink is defined by psych.org as the practice of thinking or making decisions as a group in a way that discourages creativity or individual responsibility. The man who coined the term, Irving Janis, researched how groups could be on point with concepts and ideas one round, then make absolute blunders the next. During his research, Janis found that the lack of conflict or opposing viewpoints in a group led to poor decisions because alternatives were not fully analyzed and because groups did not gather enough information to make informed decisions. Groups that fall into groupthink ignore alternatives, tend to take irrational actions that dehumanize other groups, and fail to see things from outside perspective. Groups are especially vulnerable to groupthink when their members are from similar backgrounds, when the group is insulated from outside opinions, or when there are no clear rules for decision making. As students, we experience groupthink all the time. However, some of the biggest groupthink blunders come out of multi-million-dollar companies with very capable advertising teams. Take Dove, recently under major scrutiny for this particular ad. This 3-second GIF posted to the brand's Facebook page titled, "Ready for a Dove Shower," certainly got people talking, and not in a good way. Dove put up the ad on Friday and took it down later on the day on Saturday, but that was more than enough time for the internet to go in. Everyone everywhere was talking about it, and if you weren't talking about it, you at least saw something about it on your newsfeed. And for good reason. Some defended Dove, saying the ad was show diversity and arguments of the like, but the rest of us weren't having it from a company who has notoriously been known for whitewashing, and should have certainly learned their lesson on the issue by now. After they decided the ad was maybe not such a great idea, Dove released a statement saying, "This does not represent the diversity of real beauty, which is something Dove is passionate about and is core to our beliefs, and it should not have happened. We apologize deeply and sincerely for the offense that is caused and do not condone any activity or imagery that insults any audience." But again, it's hard to take that seriously when the rhetorical concepts they're using in their ads in 2017 are the same of soap ads used during the Jim Crow era. Of course, this has been pointed out to Dove every time they've whitewashed, but apparently none of the members of the ad team they outsource has Twitter or internet access, and if we're being honest, they're probably mostly, if not all, white. Because how else could you let this one slide? Now, I could hate on Dove all day, but they aren't even close to being the only ad team who has released insensitive, poorly thought out advertisements. From tasteless to sexist, to stalkerish, actually quite rapey, and, well, just moronic. There have been enough bad ads to write a book. And they all come from teams of smart, well-qualified, well-paid, creative ad groups. How could no one in the group not see these ads going well? It all can be traced to groupthink. Now, in order to avoid groupthink, like the plague, when working on an ad campaign, writing a speech, or even just posting to social media, groups should highly consider the following. Group members should feel comfortable expressing their opinions, and even more importantly, they should feel comfortable expressing their concerns. Try having as much diversity in your group as possible. Having members of different races, backgrounds, and ideologies helps to see how ideas play out from different perspectives. If this is impossible, make sure you are playing devil's advocate. You should be asking, what are the implications of what we're saying? Are those implications good or bad? How will others see this message? If you have any reservations, don't ignore them. Think your ideas out thoroughly with your team. Normally, the more heads, the better. When groups are diverse, come from different backgrounds, have varying ideologies, and feel comfortable expressing their ideas, teams are capable of being much more effective than individuals. But when groupthink sets in, the opposite can be true. By creating a healthy working environment, you can help ensure that the group makes good decisions and assesses the implications of the messages they are putting out. Thank you.